Well, here I am in my childhood bedroom, and there are books and shit everywhere. That's the offending pump room that had the pipe that burst. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just going to remove and to put into boxes things that, like this little bronze sculpture my dad made, and a little bronze sculpture that I made. And if I can find a box to start putting these in, just to get them out of here. Because they aren't moldy, they're not moldy, and they can live happily ever after here. Oh, I can't take this. So anyway, I am going to set this here, sit my little ass down, hey Cash. I'm dumping things that were in one little cabinet here that's going to be well, it's a weird feeling because of the chaos that's here right now. There's, junk everywhere, and stuff that isn't junk. The art supplies and coins and stuff out of these boxes, drawers, and then putting this is going to make a lot of noise, so get ready. Toothpaste. Suppose I need that. Screwdriver, watch. is at. No key. All of this. Kennedy's the one for the 60s. You can barely hear me anyway. Yeah, it is tough down here. All of my millions are going to go in this box. If it's going to fit. Most of it fit. Well, this is where the flood was. So what I'm doing here is trying to figure out everything that is in this basement is being moved to a warehouse where it will be dried out. And I'm taking things that are not wet and not really all that important, but take up room and probably should be thrown away, but they're sort of part of my youth, like these boat models and stuff. So what I'm doing with that is I'm moving it into another room where I can save them to be thrown out some other day. But today there's going to be an army of men here clearing out this room, taking everything out because they have to lift up the carpeting. The carpeting is all moldy, and or not moldy, but wet, and will be moldy. And so all of this has to be lifted up and thrown out. And all of this the walls have to be pulled down from 2 feet from the ground up and be replaced, otherwise they'll be moldy, and it'll be either make people sick who live here if we keep the house, or make it hard to sell or impossible to sell if it has mold. So that's what has to happen. If the basement was just empty of shit, I wouldn't have had to come back. There's so much junk that belongs to me and belongs to my family, belonged to my dad and my mom, and there's some things that we were planning on selling, and there were some things that we wanted to keep, There were some things that I wanted to throw away, but I just never have. There are a lot of old books that are really not of any use to anyone anymore. And, but now they're getting all moldy. So in order to keep them from getting moldier, the plan is to have them packed up and brought to this warehouse for them to look at them and to clean them up. They apply some sort of chemical in the warehouse, in the air, so that it kills the mold. Yeah. Okay, my brother is calling me to eat, so I have to go upstairs. I'll introduce you to my brother. This is our trap door. This keeps the mold downstairs and not up here. This is my stream. Say hi.
Who?
My stream.
Hey, hi stream.
See what should we look alike?
Oh yeah.
I'm the handsome one and the
Yes.
skinny one.
And but I'm more lovable because I have more to love.
He's more lovable.
Because I have a double chin.
He has a double chin.
On top of my triple chin. How many people are there? 2?
There are 5 people watching.
Oh my gosh.
Kesh from India, who I met on his Kesh.
I know it's a rush of people.
It's a rush of people. I see. And Kesh I met here on how many years ago? 5 years ago. And it was his birthday. And he saw that I was playing the ukulele, and this is on the other Periscope app. He saw me, and Will Hodge from Texas is here. My brother is. See, wherever I live, people feed me. Todd, do you know the difference between dogs and cats?
No.
A dog says, "He's a god. He feeds me," and a cat says, "I'm a god. He feeds me." And that's what,
right.
and that's what they're like. And I'm a god because Matt feeds me in Boston, and Todd feeds me when I'm here. And Miss Mouse, and the mouse is here, Mighty Mouse from.
Hold on.
What are we adding on top of this? Green
Nice hot sauce.
hot sauce.
And there's also sriracha. Yeah, sriracha.
How hot is this hot sauce?
It's good.
My brother and I were with my father at a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, and it's I don't know what people in Minneapolis they hired to work there to give it so many stars, because it was the blandest food ever. And Todd and I would have to douse the spicy Szechuan. Oh, why is it coming out the gap? Sorry, it's all over this thing now. because I unscrewed the wrong part. Sorry.
It was that yellow mustard.
So anyway, it was, we ordered all of this spicy food, but it's not spicy enough for Todd and I. So we put, yellow mustard on it to, a little half a teaspoon and mushed it all in. Well, my father wanted to try that, but my father didn't want to do it in a little way. He just wanted to do it in a big way. I don't know what he did.
He thought it was mustard.
He thought it was.
I'm going to try something.
I'm gonna have that. And we said, no, don't you dare, no, Dad, please don't. And he took a spoonful and just put it in his mouth. I think it was, and he thought he was gonna die. And I thought he was going to die. He was pulling it.
I'm going to the moon.
I'm going to the moon. He's hitting his head like this, like trying to make the taste buds go away. Oh my God. And he just could not drink his alcoholic beverage fast enough to quench the heat. I'm just going to sit down over here to eat. I guess I can sit over here. Sit over here and eat. This is Todd. See, say. Hi. That's Troy. Troy is I'm the handsome one. Todd is the kind one, and Troy is the stud. The muscular, beefy one. But he's also a little short compared to the rest of us tall Norwegians. Who's the funnier one? Todd is the funnier one. Troy's sense of humor, when it happens, is usually quite pointed, and one of the funniest things my little brother ever said was, upon seeing my dead mother in her casket at the funeral home, and it's eggs and rice and some potato, and a sort of hash brown potato. And so my mother's in her casket, and the embalmers, of course, do their best in trying to make a dead body look good. But they don't know what she looked like when she was alive. So they, put wires in her jaw to keep them shut and super glue on her eyes.
Well.
Huh?
It didn't look like mother at all.
It didn't look like her, but you remember what Troy said?
What?
Troy came out and she had this big smile. And
really wide.
Really wide like this.
She didn't have a wide mouth.
And there was just no way that she had kind of a wide mouth. If you look at pictures of her dad and Gladys, it was a straight, anyway, Troy walked out as he was walking past me. He said, "Mom looks like she's sticking her head out of a window on a car." Because remember, like a dog does. So, oh, cool.
You tell them that he and Sydney dressed Dad.
I think I did. My brother and his niece went to the mortician and helped the embalmers dress my father for his final trip. Which
no, they didn't help. They did it.
They did it?
Troy and Sydney did it completely.
Oh, I thought that they just sort of watched and, Creepy. Creepy. So here's the view from the kitchen table. And again, this kitchen is quite large. It's as large as a 2-car garage, because that's what this room was before we had a fire here in the house. And the garage and the 2 cars that were in it burned, but the rest of the house wasn't harmed. So when they were rebuilding, they made this the kitchen and added a little porch and then added a 2-car garage out that way. But I would have been sitting on the hood of my dad's Austin Healey. Probably not the hood. It's a small car. But it's nice. It has a fireplace here, and on the other side of this thing is a stove and ovens. There's also an indoor barbecue pit thing, and the ceilings in this entire house are the roof, all the solid wood. There is no attic or insulation, so when it rains, you really hear the pitter patter. It's lovely. That way, the next house is maybe 2 miles. Is it maybe 2 miles across the river to the next house? Or a mile?
Across the river?
Yeah, if you were to
There
go.
are no houses across there.
I know. When is the first house you would hit in Burnsville?
Oh,
2 miles?
probably 2 miles.
Two-
Because it has to go across the Long Meadow Lake.
I know that. I'm just.
Minnesota River.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a lot.
So it's 2 miles that way to the nearest house. 2 feet that way to the nearest house. Now, the houses on either side of us are
In fact,
close.
Ollie lived over there.
Yeah.
On that block. And he also lived across the street.
So it's a lovely location if you like trees and stuff like that. What happened to the table in the breezeway? Was that sold? Did you sell that?
Which one?
The big white metal one.
Well, I think we should keep that one.
Well, I didn't see it there in the breezeway. I think you must have moved it because it was.
Oh!
Okay, it's over there. Okay. I don't know if you can see that there. That's a sculpture of a fish, though I've never. It's supposed to be horizontal. Mighty Mouse. It's supposed to be a fish. Done by friends of my parents. And he was not happy that it was turned upside down, turned sideways. Should that go to the lake, or would Troy have a fit? fish sculpture, Todd?
Huh?
Should the fish go to the lake?
Maybe. It'd be nice. That and Migraine Mary.
And what?
Migraine Mary.
Oh, okay.
Migraine Mary.
Okay.
The one that is with the pot on her head.
No.
Mom named it.
Was that Fauci?
No.
Oh. Who is it? Looks kind of like Fauci. Policeman. Looks kind of like Fauci, though.
Yeah.
I thought that's only because it was on a big TV that.
So what I'm thinking,
No.
try to clear up your bed as much as you can,
Oh.
and they'll take that out.
No.
And you have that much more room and say, hey, everything on the books can go.
Well, I've opened up the windows. And I'll move I'm just going to move a table by the windows, and I'm just going to put things there that they can box up. They can start boxing up.
Well, the thing, yeah.
Just to get it off the, so I can get to the next level.
Do you know when they're coming? I should get the cat.
9. You should do what?
I need to
Get the cats in the.
9 o'clock.
see when
Yeah.
they can't see me.
No. Mighty Mouse is here. What were the first name initials of your parents? Well, one was Wells, is Wells. W. The other one's real name was Pauline, but she hated that name, hated it. So she was called Nell
For Nelson.
for Nelson, her maiden name, and also just much nicer name. But the only people that called her Pauline were our cousins, who never got the memo until after she died. So funny. Auntie Pauline. So let me just go into the other room here, and then I'll go back downstairs. Everything's a little chaotic here because of moving things around. There's a lot of rugs that were wrapped in plastic downstairs that are now wrapped in plastic up here, so they're safe. But here's my mom. There's our Uncle Oscar. My mother thought this looked like her uncle. I don't quite see the resemblance. Oh, the sentence came. Wells put nothing toward the P. What would he put nothing toward the, it's like donating money. What would he put nothing toward the, doggy? Well, here's me when I was young. I don't know if you can see. Here's my mom when she was young. The game, and here's my dad when he was in Korea. So when he was young. This is my favorite picture of my dad. The sentence game, Melissa, is we pick at random 6 or 7 or 10 or whatever letters, and we write them all down and then we create a sentence using the letters that were given us, but we have to keep those letters in that order. So in this case, it's WPNTTP. So these are the initials of all of the people in our family: Wells, Pierre, Nell, Wells, Pauline, Nell, Todd, Troy, Pierre. So Mighty Mouse wants us to put this in a real sentence with a verb and a noun and a subject and a whatever. In this game, you can add whatever kind of punctuation you want. And a hint is using a parentheses, can sort of combine a bunch of letters in something that's kind of like a clause or something. So Wells put nothing toward the P, toward the what do you call something? It's like getting Social Security that starts with a P. So we'll put nothing toward the pike. Would that work? Through the pike. Yeah. We'll put nothing through the pike. Or through the pipeline. A pike is what is a pike? What, I was getting a cup of coffee here. It's a sentence game, Will. Will Pierre never tell the punchline? That's quite often the case in real life, because I forget what the joke was. And in telling the joke, I often forget that I'm telling a joke, and I'm suddenly, in the middle of some sort of a story about a priest and a rabbi at a bar, and I'm like, why am I telling this story? Because I forget what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go back downstairs. Oh, we'll put nothing toward the pike. You never do. Well, you never ever do. We ask you and ask you, but you never do. You're just a cheapskate. No, that was anyway. So it's a fun game to play when you've got a group of maybe 4 people. Less than 4, it's not as much fun. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to turn my phone off plug my phone in because it's almost dead. I suppose I could bring the charger downstairs, couldn't I? Let me do that. Well, then I have to find a plug down there. That's the other thing. I'm going to turn it off, and it's just the plugs along in my room where I'll be are sort of against a wall that I can't get to because there's too much shit in the way. So rather than crawling on the floor that's all soggy, I'm going to I'm going to just plug you in here. So let me find a plug that works. And then I'm gonna, no, that one's plugged in already. This I'll say goodbye. I'll be back on maybe when I'm in the central time zone. I'm gonna come back maybe in an hour, and where are you, M. Smith? I think you're in Michigan, right? Yeah, Eastern Michigan. So all I have to do is read the entire sentence. I get so upset with my clients who I have 3 questions to ask them. Do you like this color? Do you what size do you want it? And do you have a big dick? Or whatever. 3 questions I ask them, and they say, "Oh, thanks for the questions, blue." They answer the first one. They never get around to the other 2, and I have to ask them again. And there was a time when I wanted to send Google documents to all of my clients where they had to fill in every fucking form. Every line had to be answered before they could submit it back to me. Don't electrocute myself. No, I'm planning not to. I'm sort of surprised that the power cord I'm using right now is the one that was on the floor in my room. So evidently it didn't get wet enough to cause trauma. So I have to blow my nose and continue with this moving shit around. So I will talk with you in an hour or so. Okay? Everyone be good.